Namaskar. Hello and welcome to 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝘁𝙗's channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. You've been seeing a lot of stories about 𝗤𝗚𝘅 Pannun being, attempted to be assassinated in the United States. This has come out from the United States source who doesn't want to be identified. It's always the case. They'll just leak something and then they'll say that, well, these are reliable sources. Fine, I do that too. So it's all in the game. The more important thing here is what really happened, and there's a story behind this. And this is a coordinated effort, not just by the United States, but also some entities in the United Kingdom. So I'm going to give you all this information. This is a very well put together presentation by Disinfo Lab that I'm using and borrowing liberally. I thank them. The link to the original article is in the description, just so you don't tell me that I plagiarized it. I have a lot of stuff in this. I'm going to add what I know also on top of what you're going to see in the Disinfo Lab slide deck. So I'm going to present that to you. But before that, please like this video and share it to the extent possible. This should be seen in context with the two different videos that I put out. Who in the Department of State of the United States hates India and who in the US Department of State hates Israel, because these days the enemy is the same one. The people have the same agenda. First Israel, then India. That seems to be the plan here. So I'm going to show you what has been happening here. 𝗤𝗚𝘅 Pannun. That's the story here. So there is a research lab in UK called Centre for Information Resilience. And BBC liberally borrows from them, and then of course they will conveniently leave out some important information. That is how things are. So we're going to decode the relationship between these two and how one scratches the other. By the way, it is now 149 days since the San Francisco Consulate of India was set on fire by so-called Khalistani supporters. I call them Anglo-Saxon terrorists because they really wanted to do bad things, and that's what they are. Don't try to put another thing. This is a pig. You can put any amount of lipstick you want. It is still a bent of mind that is not good for humanity. That's all I can say. 149 days, almost 5 months now, and not a single person has been arrested. Now, Financial Times picks up the story from what happened in BBC. BBC is the first one who quotes it, saying that transatlantic enterprise to make a hero out of a clown. Financial Times, quoting anonymous sources, reported that the US thwarted an attack by India on Khalistani loudmouth 𝗤𝗚𝘅 Pannun, who, as per Indian media's anonymous sources, is a US asset. But there is more to mix of Pannun and Khalistan. There is a role of the UK establishment and BBC. Incidentally, the FT story about saving Pannun Ryan, a take on Saving Private Ryan, comes after Canadian claim regarding Nijjar, but the incident happened before that. I have the date at which time Pannun was assassinated, and then a later date Nijjar is actually assassinated. But now the story is coming from here and saying that this happened. Why wait so long? Why not make it public right then and there? Well, the sources were waiting. I don't know what. Muhurtam, maybe. Well, here is the thing. The US authorities thwarted a conspiracy to assassinate a Sikh separatist on American soil and issued a warning on India's government. By the way, guys, I don't know if you saw this video of mine. They also faked his death. There was a video shot saying that he was killed in an accident on US 101, which goes about, 5 miles from where I live. And this goes the length of California. It starts in San Diego at the border and goes all the way up to Seattle, perhaps beyond. I don't remember. They said that 𝗤𝗚𝘅 Pannun was killed in a car crash on this highway. And guess what? They were showing video footage of a crash that happened in Wales. Pathetic. That's all I can say. Whoever did that video to try and impress upon the viewers that Pannun was killed was doing a very bad job. They need to do a better job of faking. Now we come to find out that BBC did a story on a report by a UK think tank, Centre for Information Resilience. So this is This is where the story starts in terms of the relationship between BBC and CIR, Center for Information Resilience. 2 years ago, BBC did a story. The report claimed that large-scale fake Indian handles were targeting Sikhs and farmers. So you have the assassination on one side. Now this is a different story where BBC says that large-scale fake handles were Indian handles were targeting Sikhs and farmers. This is the story, okay? BBC.com News, World, Asia, India, and then hyphen. So you can click on this link to get the entire story. Now, what did they say? They said was that they were quoting CIR liberally, but they didn't say that CIR is a UK establishment project. As we go through and see who funded this, you will see a little bit more information about it. This is a classic psychological operation through which BBC/CIR tried projecting Pannun as an activist and projecting Khalistan as an essential political demand of the Sikhs. Do you know how many Sikhs are there in Canada? Want to make a guess? 2.1%. That is 2021 census. 2.1% according to 2021 census. You are Canadian brothers and sisters. I want to ask you, you're going to let this 2% tail wag the entire body? Why don't you fix it? Vote them out. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. So, the CIR report claimed to expose a large-scale propaganda campaign targeting farmers' protests. But did it? Here are the claims and the facts. Their claims are a large-scale orchestrated disinformation campaign took place. What are the facts? There were 33 anonymous Twitter IDs with all alliterations, maximum 80 anonymous handles. It was against farmer protests/Sikhs. The handles were neutral and at times supported farmers' protests. They only targeted Sikhs for Justice/Pannun. I'm going to show you some examples so you get an idea. The call for action against Sikhs/farmers. The facts are the call for action was to expose and counter Sikhs for Justice Pannun's fake propaganda, which CIR report conveniently omitted. A few years ago, I remember reading about Mr. Pannun's role as a lawyer. How successful was he? Because he claimed himself to be an immigration lawyer. There used to be a lot of complaints about him. But now if you go on Google, all of them have been sanitized, meaning vanished, all taken out. So they are trying to make this guy something that he is not. The network increased its activity during farmers' protests. No evidence given. Then they called to save India from Pakistan, Canada, UK, and the US. That may be true. Okay, so here is the summary of what we just did in the table. CIR report unearthed a total of 33 anonymous/fake Twitter IDs, likely Indian, who ran a coordinated campaign targeting Sikhs for Justice and Pannun, and CIR and BBC spun it as anti-farmer, anti-Sikh. See, this is the thing. They try to take one instance, one event, and try to project it for the entire community. I'll give you another example. There looks like they're trying to do a referendum in San Francisco also, and posters came up in San Jose. And within 24 hours, all posters gone. So that shows you that at least San Jose police is working with alacrity and they're making sure no such nonsense comes up. So this is just for your information. Justifying a report exposing merely 33 Twitter/X, we are being trained to not tweet but X handles. The report claimed that though small, they had huge reach and influence. The fact is that throughout the report, one tweet was shown as an evidence of huge reach. And the thing is, that post actually called for creating Khalistan in the UK and Canada. Here it shows. Simran Kaur is the handle, and again, Simran, that you can see that's probably an anonymous handle because you have all these digits at the end. Dear Khalistanis, good that finally you found your proper Khalistan in UK and Canada. So go for it and don't dare to look at our India. We are proud Indian Sikhs and we won't tolerate your presence in India. Do you want to know how much percentage of Sikhs live in Punjab? It is around 58 to 59%. And 39% of Hindus also live in Punjab. And these are families that have been intertwined with relationships for many generations. Remember, Sikhs were just a Veer Hindu. The firstborn male child was usually, called a Sikh. He had the 5 Ks, Kirpan and things like that. And the other children were Hindu. And there was a free mingling back and forth. These are mischievous mongers like the ISI lumpens who want to try and create this discord, guys. The CIR report made another claim that even if small in number, the narrative was hyped through the media. The fact is, one media quoted a tweet on Sikh festival Hola Mohalla, and 2 had quoted reports about pro-India gatherings abroad. Both are factually correct. Here they are. First one, in 1701, Guruji felt that the Hindu festival of Holi has been losing its meaning over the years, and so he instituted Hola Mohalla, a festival for people to come together, rejoice and marvel at the talent and braveries of 𝗤𝙗𝙤𝙦 or warrior Sikh group. Remember guys, there are many communities among Sikhs. Nirankaris, 𝗤𝙗𝙤𝙦, and there are many more. I don't even know all the things. To lump them all together and say that these are all anti-national, these are all the mischievous games that ISI plays. And unfortunately, some drink this Kool-Aid and think that that is the truth. In Canada, the patriotic Indians took out a tricolor rally to protest against the Khalistanis. Sikh community supports you all. Thank you for standing with Sikh community and not Khalistanis. So you have a lot of things that have been happening. Many Sikhs, in fact, this year celebrated Diwali also, and these lumpens tried to call and tried to make them to boycott celebrating Diwali. No matter what, it's easy to feed venom into some person's mind and saying, oh, you are being discriminated because you are this, you are being hurt because you are this. The truth is that you will be treated like a human being by many. If somebody comes and tries to color you, you need to be able to introspect and see, is this really happening, or is this something that this person is making up because he has an ulterior motive? That's the point that every person should be thinking. Well, we go on. When these handles did not use any fake news and mostly criticized, mocked the loudmouth Mr. Pannun and accused him as a PAK agent, why would CIR BBC take so much pain to expose them? Here's how they tried. Even one fake account is fake and must be exposed, right? What if there are only 33 handles, and what if they didn't have any impact? And what if they targeted Pannun? An orchestrated fake campaign deserves to be exposed. So here is this thing. It is targeting Pannun, but BBC and CIR are trying to make it look as if it is targeting the farmers' protest. You see the amount of jugaad that took place, the playbook, it has become very complicated and sophisticated in this case. Now, what is puzzling though is the exact time that CIR was unearthing this propaganda, there were multiple orchestrated campaigns being run against India which were targeting the farmers' protest at a truly large scale, only one state. But the fact is that it did happen. The first one is Khalsa for Khalistan. This was a hashtag. This hashtag was supported largely by Pakistan's ISPR, and I'll show you why, right? See this, the bitmap here. In April 2020, during farmers' protests, Pak handles ran this Khalsa for Khalistan to propagate SFJ's Khalistan referendum. I told you about that in San Jose, right? It was a classic copy-paste coordinated campaign. See, this is the original one, and then see this. See how many other handles have done the same thing, just change the color, but more or less it's the same format. Now you can pinch your fingers on your smartphone screen and expand it out, and then you will be able to see different handles, but the same story. This is how people essentially propagate lies. Now, how big was this disinfo network? Well, much bigger than the 33 Twitter/X handles. At least 186, that's 5 times, ran this hashtag, and it was so fake, most were created on a single day, April 13, 2020. And they were tweeting in a coordinated manner. By the way, guys, when I came out with the series on C Company, same thing happened. 10:30 a.m. India time, I'll see 5 or 6 tweets personally targeting me, my family, all sorts of rubbish. And you can see the same grammatical errors in all these tweets. You know these are paid goons trying to copy and paste and put it on their tweet handles. Very, very, very easy. And here is a map that you can easily pick up. These are maps that organizations such as the NCRI, Network Contagion Research Institute, they put out these things to show where the activity starts as a function of time. Now these sock puppet handles, sock puppet, fake, were being run from Pakistan. Why is it evident? Here it is. From the bios and follower following network. So you have to go and pinch that. This one, you have to go pinch this and go and click on that on the handle and look at their follower network. You'll get an idea of where they all originated from. These people most of the time will be tweeting about events happening in Pakistan, but suddenly they decided to pick up Khalsa for Khalistan. And then look at the keyword map. This tells you the bigger the size of the font, the more the incidence of that. So that's what you are seeing here. And here is the other one. So you get an idea here. That was the first one. That is Pannun being, the target was Pannun, but they tried to make it look as if it was the farmers' protest. Here is the next one. In impersonation, Pakistani fifth generation warriors have mastered impersonation to run propaganda targeting India. For example, the account name is Voice of Youth Pakistan, but it calls itself as voice_YP, and it masquerades as an Indian Sikh created. So that is the first time. This is the impersonation. Guess what kind of impact it created? It created 10 times more impact than all the CIR created handles. And how is this? This is this picture, right? A Sadaji is going and he is walking by, I think, what looks like a Pakistani army soldier. I think. I'm not sure, okay? So here, this thing says, I think Jinnah was right. I'm sorry, Pakistan. And what was Jinnah right about? I'll show you in just one moment. But farmers' protest, India shut down, these things were there, and also they started trending, Jinnah was right. How huge was this fake campaign? It was slapped up by somebody as high as the Prime Minister Imran Khan. His party handles, Pakistan news channels, and even by the government of Pakistan. A few posts alone had 9,000 retweets and 31,000 likes within hours. The Pakistani media circulation was well planned. I mean, does news even have any meaning anymore in Pakistan? Here is Imran Khan. He says, PTI official, this is their party official handle. I feel blessed to have opened my eyes in a free environment bestowed upon us by God through his chosen personality, who was none other than our beloved 𝗣𝗚𝘗𝘗. He had a vision for Muslims of subcontinent which got translated in the shape of Pakistan. PM Imran Khan, Jinnah was right. I told you, right? That hashtag. Now, this is a letter that he wrote and it is being quoted here by Radio Pakistan. There are two powers in the world. One is the sword and other is the pen. There is a great competition and rivalry between the two. There is a third power stronger than both. That is of the women. Okay? And again, Imran Khan saying women should be respected, oxymoron right there. Anyway, so these are all the different tweets that took place on the 8th of December 2020. Look at the handles and these are all the top tweets. If you just go and pinch again, you'll see the numbers. Horrifying. I mean, it's amazing that this has been picked up and run. I don't know how much money each one was paid to retweet. Time proves the words of legend Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Jinnah was right. See, again the same picture. The same thing. I think Jinnah was right. I'm sorry, Pakistan. Guys, as many Hindus as Sikhs were killed during the partition. They did not differentiate between the two. These bloodthirsty Muslims, they killed every non-Muslim that they could lay their hands on. Horrible, horrible what happened. These are but few of the campaigns we dug after the BBC CIR report and after farmers' protest was called off. There were scores of such campaigns during the peak of the protest. All super easy to spot, but none got the attentions of mavericks of CIR. So who are CIR? Who and what is CIR? The CIR was founded in June 2020 by two British nationals, Adam Rutland and Ross Burley, in pick left to right. Both these gentlemen were extensively linked to the UK government before they co-founded CIR. Who knows if there was a shutdown or layoffs? They said, okay, you go and run with this. The co-founder and executive director, Adam Rutland, worked with the British Foreign Ministry, FCO, And in 2013, he was a spokesperson for the British Embassy in Jakarta. But his real claim to fame is his link with the Integrity Initiative, considered a UK deep state project. You can see his bio. We are aware that Lindsay Landford's blah blah blah. He says Adam Rutland's spokesman for the British Embassy in Jakarta. If you just look at the highlighted portions, you will see what he was doing before he got into CIR. The Integrity Initiative was a baby of Institute for Statecraft. The name suggests co-founded by Christopher Nigel Donnelly, known as UK deep politician, who was a special advisor for 4 NATO Secretaries General for 13 years, as well as to the then UK Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. This is all about Chris Donnelly. Again, you can go on this article's link. I'll put it on my description section. That is the Disinfo Lab article. So you can go and read this thing in complete detail. While CIR was registered in 2020, Rutland claimed to have founded in 2018 itself, which just happens to be a few months before his name appeared in the Integrity Initiative leaks in 2018. So these things are, easy to manipulate. But look at this. This is the company's house. This is where you register yourself, and that says 16 June 2020. Okay. Rutland also incorporated a consulting firm in 2018 when Rachel Claire Winnie joined as director in 2021. While CIR does not mention Winnie, her LinkedIn profile does. Incidentally, she also has work experience at the UK's FCO. Here we go. Here is the information about where she belongs. These are all again company house data. And here is the LinkedIn information. Director at Center for Information Resilience, CIR. CIR co-founder Ross Burley was foreign policy advisor to David Lidington at the House of Commons from 2007 July to May 2010, a civil spokesman for British reconstruction team in Helmand, Afghanistan in 2008, and worked as FCDO in Washington DC and Tel Aviv. 2 years here, 2 years there. Here is his complete bio, Ross Burley. And the report author, Benjamin Strick, was formerly employed by BBC and Bellingcat. Strick also worked at the Australian Army, EU Arms Project, and it is worth noting that EU Arms Project was also associated with the UK government. This is Benjamin S. Right? So you can get all, these are all again things that are available in public sources. If you look at the name and then go and look in LinkedIn profile, you'll get all this information. A recent addition to CIR is a former head of US's Ministry of Truth, Nina Jankowicz, or Nina Jankowicz, I should say, as the vice president at the US office. Believe it or not, US free speech warrior WAPO, Washington Post, agonized when this government fact check was shuttered. Nina Jankowicz, and I've read some articles of hers. I can't say one way or the other, but here is one. He says how the Biden administration let right-wing attacks derail its disinformation efforts. A pause of the Department of Homeland Security's newly created board comes after its head, Nina Jankowicz, was the victim of coordinated online attacks as the administration struggled to respond. Where does CIR get its funding from? CIR gets its funding from at least 3 countries of the 5 Eyes, UK, US and Australia. While BBC/CIR would obviously contest the deep state links, there's a whole book on BBC being New York Times/Washington Post of the United Kingdom. But what does it not tell is even more interesting. Are you a frontier or linked to any intelligence agency? CIR, BBC and UK government. Are these completely working together? Is that what is happening? I'm hoping that the British government will come out with an official statement on what its relationship is with the BBC and with CIR. More importantly, with CIR. We know it is funded by the UK government. It is run by ex-government, and its report is publicized by UK government-funded media, which is the BBC. Also, what we don't know is the CIR's actual relationship with the UK establishment. It's also worth noting that neither BBC nor CIR report put any disclaimer about its government relations. So they are not saying that they are not. But the same org, CIR, gets its employee Nina Jankovic to register as a foreign agent with the US government. That's a restriction requirement for US, by the way. You do need to register yourself. I think I've mentioned this in a previous video also. This is the FARA Act, Foreign Agents Registration Act of 1938, and it has been amended. They knew they could get away with impunity, and they did. Not only that, the report was duly hyped by a litany of Indian news media, none of which bothered to check the facts. They didn't even read the original CIR report, only rehashed BBC propaganda. This is, if you curate content, take somebody's thing and then, repeat verbatim. But you need to go and check the antecedents. Look at the references in the original context. Go back and read that. Try to understand the entirety before you start curating content. We do it all the time. But we always give you the links in the description section. So in case you want to dig deeper, you are welcome to do so by clicking on these links. Here is the print and the wire. Now, fake propaganda appears to be not new for the BBC. How much BBC has fallen? There was a time when people would listen to BBC to confirm what was happening in their own country, including India. BBC was saying that Indira Gandhi was gone much before Doordarshan confirmed it. Propaganda isn't new for BBC. Earlier, it published a survey to claim that nationalism is driving fake news in India, a survey based on 20 Indians out of the total of 1.4 billion. Where is 20 Indians? You go and publish that as a survey? BBC? Come on now, even for you, that's low. Then BBC apologizes, corrects, clarifies, except in India, where the former colonial masters still ruled. So they didn't say anything in India. BBC apologizes. You can see the thing. Again, you can pinch the screen to find out what the story is, and you may be able to get the links also. But let us believe the Sahibs, the Lord Sahib, right? A UK government-funded independent think tank. Report is published by a UK government-funded independent media. But why would they spin an anti-Pannun sock puppet campaign as anti-farmer and anti-Sikh? This is the thing. Take one small thing and then try to make it that much bigger and to give it a color that it does not deserve. As noted, it is a classic psyop which serves many purposes. Paints Pannun as an activist, paints India as a hub of disinformation, and inflames Sikh sentiment. Why again? We don't know, but here are some facts. A. Western media hypes the Khalistan issue and even plays down violent threats. I've been saying this for a long time now. All key Khalistanis live and thrive in the US, UK and Canada. Very true. Indian missions get attacked by Khalistanis only in US, UK and Canada. Why is that? That is the big question that everybody needs to answer, and I'm sure nobody is going to say anything. They're just going to hope and pray that somehow this clock runs out and a new crisis will erupt and that CIR and BBC will not be questioned by the UK government. By the way, I've done back-to-back stories involving United Kingdom. I'm not doing any witch hunt here. It just so happens that these are some of the research that my media team has done, and we just go there. We just go through that list and come up with our stories. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.